We got a little bit of a short squeeze during the night, but well, what happened next? Hello Adrian, and welcome back to another episode of the Dang Oracle. It is 7:30 p.m. UTC plus 8 is my time zone. So welcome everybody who is watching around the world on this pretty slow, very slow Sunday once again. Well, what did we expect, right? Did we expect any big moves? I don't think we expected that many big moves. But yeah, some some interesting things did happen during the night. Last night, the Bulls did attempt a little short squeeze, but that was quite kind of like what we were expecting as well. Let me turn off the sound. That was kind of what we were expecting as well, and we were kind of like I don't know about you guys, but I wasn't worried at all or anything like that when I saw it happening or anything like that. Anyways, first let me say hello first to the hardcore crew. Hi John, hi Gerson, hi Nikolai, hi Michael, hi Monkol, hi Zaldi. Welcome to this episode once again. Before we move on into some technical analysis and update on what we've talked about yesterday, let's go into some COVID numbers while the hardcore crew is coming in. And where is my infographic? Here is my infographic. Let's refresh that first. And in the US, after the 4th of July, we are now at over 2.8 million cases. Brazil and Russia, Brazil over 1.5 million, Brazil, Russia and India over 600, and India is now starting to almost overtake Russia right now. Let's take a look on worldwide. We were at 11 million. Let's refresh it. We are now at 11 million, close to 11 million and 200,000 people. As we can see, the chart is looking to slow down a little bit right now, so that's a good thing. But if we are looking at the top six, US still looks pretty bad. Brazil pretty bad, Russia pretty bad, India pretty bad, Peru pretty bad, and Chile pretty bad. So it's more like the other countries, the European countries are doing way better right now, and the other and a lot of the Asian countries have things a lot more under control, it seems, than the more affected. Trump would say the most tested tested countries. So let's keep it at that. Who are exactly the hardcore crew? Well, those are the guys that are here pretty much every night, right, John? The hardcore crew. That's the hardcore crew. The people that you see here every night. I think every day we see pretty much the same people right now. We have let's say 15 or 20 people that are part of the hardcore crew, who are basically here every night and joining me here for this 1 hour of Bitcoin analysis. Let's call it like that. So let's move on. Hi Matthias and hi Lex, of course. Let's move on and let's discuss what happened yesterday. So what did I say yesterday? Let's go into the daily charts first. Well, yesterday I did say that, it looks like we might have like a little bounce towards the upside first before it gets pushed back down. Usually what it is just the retest of this line right here, or this channel that we have broken down from this whole channel here. From this top to this end, but now we can clearly see that this is becoming more and more very clear, that it is more and more becoming a downward channel rather than and that it is broken down. And if you still don't believe that it's broken down, well, I mean, what can I say? What can I say? Hi Didi, welcome to the show for tonight. So yeah, what happened last night? So the daily pushed up and got rejected once again by the EMA 55, or the green line, as you can see, a little push towards the 9,150 area, and then it got rejected pretty quickly once again. And then, as you can see, what is happening right now, it got severely rejected, and we have a bearish engulfing red candle on the daily right now. So what I'm gonna do is basically remove this triangle, because for me, this pretty much is confirmed what is going to be happening. And like I said yesterday as well, most likely we'll be tapping somewhere here, touching the EMA 100. This can be already sort of like be consider it as a test of this EMA 100, although it's still a little bit high. So maybe during the night we will have a tap a little bit lower towards the downside. It kind of depends on what the close will be in around 25 minutes when we have at 8 o'clock. We will have more news then, because there is a potential case that we could potentially finally make some bullish divergence on the lower time frame. So that's basically what I'll be looking at. Do we have some bullish divergence? Then most likely we will retap this this zone, and maybe even go a little bit higher towards the EMA 21, like a 9.2k ish area, before getting rejected or most likely getting tapped down once again. Because yeah, this is pretty clear. This is a the descending channel now. So yeah, but that also makes it pretty clear, right? Because a lot of people are telling me right now, why are you so bearish? Why are you? Because I am just seeing what I'm seeing, and what I'm seeing is basically a downward channel. You can't really be bullish when you see a structure like this, right, where you have a high, lower high, lower high, rejection, 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 and on the bottom side we saw that the lower high got broken, right? So we had our low here, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, high, no, it got broken here, lower low, and now once again a lower low once again. So if we are seeing that type of structure, we cannot and on the technical analysis perspective, we cannot be bullish, right? We can't. It's it's not a bullish structure. So, but anyways, reversals are always possible. But before we can see a reversal, we must see some bullish divergence before we can see we have enough strength to be reversing out of this channel. So when would things look a lot better? Well, pretty much where we were before, right? Around the 9,300 where we entered our short, well, where I entered my short position, around the 9,300. If we start closing and breaking outside of this channel, then well, we'll be looking back toward targeting back towards this 9.8k area or something like that, right? So that's basically what we are looking at. So if we have enough power to, let's say, break out of this blue what's that, the simple 25 simple 21, sorry, the simple 21 moving average, which is currently at 9,370. If we today we manage to break above that line and then close above that position, then I'll be quickly turning into more bullish. That's how it works. I'm like a cheap hooker that is switching from one side to the other side, because to be honest, I don't really care. I just want to have some movement, and it has been, like I said, it has been very, very slow the last couple of days. But I think, like I said, things are looking way more mature, and then well, I've shown this before already. We can clearly see on the volume that we are very mature now in our formation, right? Like if we are looking like here, the apex is, let's make it a little bit prettier. The apex is at around well, if we draw it completely, the 20th of July, but usually we only reach to like 75-80% before it breaks out, right? So we are extremely mature right now, and that's the reason why I said most likely we will have a confirmation tomorrow with the weekly close, and then that will catalyst that spike. Either it's going to be a green volume spike towards the upside, or a red volume spike towards the upside. One of the two things is most likely going to be happening. And well, that's why we are here, and we are already talking about the weekly close. Well, what are we looking for the weekly close? Well, we have discussed that before already, and as you can see here, the Stokes are obviously for the weekly candle still curling towards the downside, but that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is really this one. Like I said, if we close the weekly below the EMA, that will basically cause that catalyst towards the downside, right? So, and as you can see right now here, the RSI is a cross up at 9,044, and below is a cross towards the downside, of course. So if we are closing at this price where we are currently at, which is around 9,029, if we are closing there, then that will confirm this cross towards the downside, and most likely we will have a continuation towards the downside. And then this is starting to look pretty bad, right? Because And then we had this as our high, this as our lower high. This is once again a failed double top breakout, and that's the key here. So we have a failed double top breakout on the RSI, and then most likely we will have a strong rejection towards the downside. That is most likely going to be happening. And well, if we are looking at the first pivot points, well, it's pretty clear. First pivot point is of course here, the EMA 21, which is currently at around 8.6k area, and I do believe that we will have some sort of like a bounce on the 8.6k area. Do I think that will be the end? I'm starting to doubt it right now, because of the sort of the pattern that we are seeing right now. Like, it was a very slow accumulation, then it got rejected twice, and yeah, it just looks that heavy volatility is coming. So actually now I am more inclined to be thinking that we'll most likely be touching the EMA 55 rather than the EMA 21. I'm not saying that we're not going to get a bounce there. Most likely we'll get a small bounce there, but I do think that the volatility that we are going to be having is going to be not just this. I think it's more likely going to be something like this, like where we get a big red candle towards the EMA 55, which is currently around 8.2k. So I am aiming towards actually a lower target than before, just purely because we are very high right now on the Stokes, and we are very high on the RSI as well. So if this get confirmed towards the downside, then most likely it's going to be a little bit stronger, or a little bit long or harder than I expect. And then from that area, make some bounces, hopefully make some sideway movements, and then most likely still a little bit more continuation towards the 7.5k area, and then we will recalculate things, we will reanalyze things. But that's still what I'm expecting, and that still has been what we've been discussing about for a very long time. When do things start? Like I said, there is you can have your because I am in a position. Of course, I have my master plan ready, right? Like, but it's way more important to be sure to know when to get out of your trade when you see that there is confirmation that the trend is reversing, right? So for me, it's like I said, it's very clear. If we do break and close above 9.3k, which is where we entered, around above this green box here, if we start closing around this green box and break out of this channel, then of course we are looking to a different trend, and most likely we'll be going towards the upside rather than the downside. So, but for now, if we are still creating lower lows, we did the trend is your friend, and we stick with our trend until the end, until it doesn't work anymore, right? So anyways, on the shorter time frames, we can clearly see that the formation that we've discussed about yesterday, this ascending broadening wedge, is basically broken right now at this moment in time, as you can see right here. If we are putting it on the line chart, it's still not confirmed just yet. I'm still waiting, of course, until 8 o'clock, the next 4-hour candle, to see if we confirming this candle, yes or no. And if we are making a measured move, let's take a quick measured move from around this area here, from this one, and we are breaking down. We can clearly see that around this 8.9k area, which is something that I've discussed, or I've talked about yesterday as well, but not necessarily needed that we get there later tonight. Like I said, it's still possible that we make a small bounce, because this one is already sort of like the 8.9k area that we have discussed about it already, right? So this could be already the area that it is, and we make a small bounce up towards this area once again, and then break down once again on Monday. But as you know, we already have a closure on the CME chart at 9,060. So 9,060 is around, let's say, 9,000 on the spot price, because there's a small premium on the CME chart, and that just means that pretty clear that we will be closing around that area, and if not, then we will be forming some sort of a gap that most likely will be filled, right? And well, why is that 9,000 quite important? Well, the 9,000 is quite important because of this, right? Like I said, if we do close our weekly candle below 9,045, we will have this bearish cross towards the on the weekly below the EMA, and that would obviously not be a good thing. And other than that, of course, on the 4-hour chart, on the CME chart, we can clearly see this death cross that is being formed right now. It has not been completed just yet, but it will be on Monday if the price is below 9,280. So I doubt it that suddenly on, well, who knows, right? But if the price doesn't move up above 9,280, basically this death cross is going to be confirmed. And as you can see, also on the CME chart, we can clearly see that we are forming a downward channel, as you can see here, right? Perfect downward channel. And then, well, where do we end up if we go back a leg downwards? It's around 8.7k on the CME chart, which is around 8,650 on the spot price if we are deducting the premium. And what price is that? Well, that's exactly here, the EMA 21 on the weekly. So a lot of confluence on that area as well. So yeah, I do believe that we will be getting there. Well, a little bit slower than expected, but eventually we will get there. I do believe so. Now there's more and more confirmation that we are gonna get there. Something else that I wanted to talk about is the volume profile. Well, we've been discussing about that whole pattern here for the past 2 months, something like that. We were trying to figure out if this one was either accumulation, right? If this was accumulation, then most likely we'll be heading towards the upside, or was this distribution? And of course, if this was distribution, then our Wyckoff theory, which we have been mapping out towards the 7.5k, it's between 7.2 to 7.5. It's quite a larger range there, but if it is distribution, then most likely this will become reality as well. Well, one of the techniques that you can be using to figure out if this is distribution or accumulation is, of course, using the volume profile. But the problem is, using the volume profile, you need to have quite a substantial amount of data before you can, basically give judgment. And sometimes, well, it's too late then before you actually know if it was accumulation or distribution, because then the move happens already. But now we kind of are, well, not lucky, we kind of have been moving sideways for a really long time, so that gives us a way more better picture on the volume as well. And it's very simple. You basically look at the volume and which candles that have the larger amount, right? And as you can clearly see here, we can see that all the red candles are higher than the green candles, which means it is very likely to be distribution. But why is it moving so slowly, and why is it moving so sideways or very slow towards the downside? Well, you have to understand like this, right? We've discussed that before with the COT chart, where we have explained how the institutions and how the professional traders have been accumulating the Bitcoin since the crash from around, what was it, 3,800 until 7,500, and then the retail jumped in and bought the top basically of that movement and pushed the price from around 7,500 towards 10.5k, right? So how are you as an institution or as a professional trader going to be distributing your Bitcoin to make profit? Because that's basically what you're in for. You buy cheap to sell high. Well, you cannot scare your customer too much, right? So that's the reason why we are having this type of distribution pattern that is very slowly, because you don't want to scare out the people. You want to still have the retail think that there is a chance that we are going to go up higher, so that they are buying the Bitcoin at the high price, right? Or that they are keep buying the dip. Let's call it like that. So that's basically what we are seeing in this pattern, in this distribution pattern. Pretty clearly, we are seeing bigger green candles, but they are still substantial. They're not like a crazy big green candles where the market is getting dumped. And also there's quite a lot of buying pressure as well from the retail, as we have went over on the COT chart as well. The retail has just keep buying the dip basically. And like I said before, that is something that is very dangerous, because, well, the purchasing power from the retail is going to be running out, and then institutions and professional traders are going to be just dumping the price harder whenever the price moves. Whenever the buy pressure from the retail starts to slow down, then basically the they will be pushing up the price. I mean, pushing the price down while selling a lot faster or taking profits a lot faster, right? So institution and yeah, you can clearly see that this is more becoming more and more like a distribution pattern. So wouldn't surprise me that we it won't last, it won't keep lasting, right? And at one point we will get that break towards the downside. So once again, we can go over this on the COT chart. It is pretty clear, right? So even now, as you can see here, while institutions are pushing the selling their Bitcoin that they have been amassed, now only just now professional traders are starting to slowly push the price down while selling and taking profits at this price right now. But as you can see here, retail is not giving up, and they are still buying the dip, and they're still purchasing Bitcoin, and they're thinking like, well, this is most likely going to go up higher. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna go much higher. I think we will have a small pullback first. Well, I want to be clear that I don't think this pullback is going to be super big or anything like that, because, well, you can't be bearish when the traditional market is doing crazy things like keep making all-time highs all the time, right? So do I think that we will have a pullback? Yeah, sure, we will have a pullback, but do I think that we will have a substantial pullback? No, I don't think we will have. It's not going to be that crazy low or anything like that. But yeah, 7.5k lower, a higher 6.8, 6.9k, sure, why not? Like that's the target area that I'm looking at, and then everything is going to be done pretty much the same thing once again. And like I said, the Hearst cycle has been pretty good in terms of the ranges that we are in. As you can see here, the short median cycle bottom on the bottom is 8,950, and that's basically where we bounced off from from I think today 9,500, I think it was 8,960 or something like that. So as you can see here, the bottom is 8,950. If we break that bottom, then we are going to the medium cycle bottom, which is below. The medium cycle bottom is currently at 8,423, which matches the areas that we are looking up from. Other than that, we can also see that the medium and the short cycle top is 9,379, and 9,379 is basically what I've told you guys about as well, what I am looking for, because if we do break 9,379, this is the simple 21 moving average here, we will be breaking outside of this channel, this downward channel, right? So if that happens, then things change, right? Things are back to more bullish as well, and then we can start looking towards the short cycle top side, and the short cycle top side is right now at 10,276, right? So pretty clear what the Hearst cycles are saying in terms of ranges, and pretty correct as well. Other than that, the oscillator, and we've spoken about that before already, the oscillator is still in bearish control zone, still below the yellow line. So yeah, the bears are definitely in control and pushing the price downwards as well. Very similar also on the MACD. We've looked at it. I think yesterday it was like minus 83 or something like that, and today we can clearly see that it's minus 91 right now. And then yeah, price is being pushed towards the downside once again. Taking a look at the Stokes versus the EMA, we can also see that the Stokes are currently below the EMA as well. I'll move this to the left hand side. So the white line is the EMA, and the RSI Stoke is the blue line, and you can see here below the EMA. So all of that is just saying the same thing that I am saying. The momentum is just on the bear side rather than the bullish side, and all the structure and everything is there. So it's just how it is. A lot of people will think that I am super bearish or something like that, but no, I'm actually not super bearish at all. I do believe that we will just have a small pullback, and then things will be moving on along the way. Once again, I don't think 2020 is going to have like a major crash or a major panic move, like towards 3,000 or anything like that. I doubt. To be honest, I don't think we will go below 6,000 for 2020. I think so. Well, you never know, but that's basically what I'm thinking. What was it? Let me check the long-term chart. Yeah, yeah. Maybe we get a little below 6,000, and the 5,955 is actually the golden pocket ratio here. So, yeah, maybe it's possible, but still, I do prefer, yeah, maybe something like this, an ABC towards 6,800. That's very very nice. And then some people will be saying that we are forming some sort of like an inverse head and shoulders like this, right? But yeah, it's not because of the inverse head and shoulders. It's not an inverse head and shoulders because I don't think you can make that kind of pattern when we are in well, not in an uptrend, but yeah, this was an uptrend, and then we have a small downtrend, and this, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't well, let's see what the volume signature says, but I wouldn't call it an inverse head and shoulders. I mean, it doesn't look like an inverse head and shoulders, but anyways, yeah, like I said, a long term, most likely something like this, bounce back there and then bounce down here and then maybe bounce back up here, something like that, and hopefully break out. Maybe not, and then we can do more like this, something like this, and then break out in 2021. That's also a possibility, of course. Anything is possible. But I'm definitely not that bearish because the traditional markets are doing actually very very well. Just a quick look on the traditional markets. As you can see here, I just wanted to show the monthly, of course. If you take a look at the monthly on the Nasdaq chart, well, you can't be bearish when you see something like this on the monthly, right? I mean, it's just crazy. It's just insane. Looking at the weekly is also super good, as you can see here. So we had a gravestone doji, and then that got immediately reversed into a bullish engulfing candle towards the upside. So the weekly is looking, I mean, this just screams for continuation of our trend towards the upside rather than downside. Only on the daily, we can say, well, we are forming a doji candle, so we will most likely get a small pullback towards the downside. That's still what I'm expecting on the traditional, but yeah, I think it's even if we have a pullback, it's just once again, it's just a buy the dip scenario rather than anything else. So do I think that and because the traditional markets are doing so well, that makes me very very you know, it's just very unlikely for Bitcoin to be crashing and burning, because like I said, if Big Daddy is going up, then most of the chances that little baby Bitcoin is going to be pulled up towards the upside as well. Maybe not as strong as Big Daddy, of course, but at least you know, it will have sufficient amount of power. So be ready to be well, for me at least, I'm ready to buy Bitcoin. I'm just waiting for it to, you know, make that pullback, and when I see the traditional market also kind of like, you know, topping out, then we can reconsider of selling our Bitcoin, because, well, if the traditional markets fall all the way towards the downside, then obviously you know what that means already, right? You know what that means already. Then Bitcoin is going to make a severe crash towards the downside as well. But like I said, if the monthly closes like that for Nasdaq, well, next month is going to be continuation of that, so you know, it's not going to be a bad thing for Bitcoin. So yeah, that's the only thing that is keeping me from thinking that yeah, we're going to be crashing pretty hard on Bitcoin. I don't think we will. Do we have a small pullback? Yes, we most likely will have a small pullback, but other than that, I don't think it's going to be that big. Okay, so now that we have closed our 12-hour charts, yes, 12-hour candle close, let's take a look on the 4-hour chart, because that's what I wanted to check about, if we have some bullish divergence. And well, when we are talking about bullish divergence, let's take the cheat sheet. That means when we are having in this case, a lower low on the price and a higher low on the RSI. So that's basically what I was looking for. So let's take a look if we have it. So we want to see this, higher low under this, and then a, oh sorry, my bad, that's not the one that I'm looking for. And this one, yeah, this one. So a lower low on the price. So we did a small lower low on the price, as we can see. Yes, it's very small, very small, it's very small. And then let's see on the RSI if we made a higher low. Yeah, we did make a higher low. So let's remove this first because that was the bullshit that we had yesterday. Here. So we did have a higher low. Is that correct? Am I correct? Yeah, correct. Yeah. So we do have some small bullish divergence right now. So yeah, do I think that will be immediately breaking down towards the 8.9k area? Most likely not immediately. It seems like it wants to make a small push towards the upside first. So later today, maybe a retest of the top of the triangle once again, like let's say here the 10 simple moving average around let's say 9.1k area is very possible that we can push back up even. Yeah, I don't think that much higher, maybe 9.120 9.40 something like that, but most likely not that much higher than that. So yeah, but that's we do have some small bullish divergence right now towards the upside, but yeah, it just I mean, when we are so droopy and already below the support line, of course it's just a small bounce. And like I said, a measured move is taking us all the way down towards around the 8.9k area. So most likely later on in the next 4 to 5 hours we might get a little push towards the upside, and then maybe afterwards, before the weekly close, maybe we will get that push towards the downside at like 8.9k or something like that. That's a very possible scenario. But yeah, all what matters is basically on the weekly close, right? If this keeps confirmed towards the downside, and if we get this cross confirmed towards the downside below 9,045, yeah, then it just means next week continuation. And I don't think it's going to be taking that long. It most likely will be happening in the first couple of days, most likely. Well, all depends once again on the traditional market, but like I said, traditional markets on the short term, very short term, is looking toppy. As you can see here, the stocks are curling towards the downside on the S&P, and RSI as well is crossing below the EMA as well, after having this super top here at the bullish control zone, right? So if this pulls back on Monday, then we will most likely have our pullback towards like 8.6k ish area for Bitcoin as well on Monday. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Let's take a look on the expected moves charts. First standard deviation to the top side is, well, what do you guess? 9,094. Like I said, maybe a small push towards the 9.1k. And the first standard deviation to the downside, well, what do you know? 8.962. So around the 8.9k area towards the downside, which is, well, I guess the math agrees with me as well. As you can see right now, the angle is a little bit more towards the downside, not that much, a little bit more towards the down, but not that much. So yeah, like I said, most likely a close around the weekly close around 8.9k is that's what I'm expecting. But that will of course create that domino stone effect towards the downside as well. 12-hour Stokes, yeah, of course, we've talked that before. It's curling towards the downside. And then let's take a look on the RSI. Yeah, RSI is still below the EMA as well. Let's take a look on the daily. What we can see there, daily Stokes are curling towards the downside, but as you can see here, we might have some support here. So like I said, maybe tomorrow we'll have like a small push and then a push back up. So 8.6k and then bounce back up to like 8.99k. That's pretty possible. All right. Then let's take a look on the RSI. RSI is still below. And when are we going to be crossing up? Well, you can see it clearly here, 9.1k. Let's take a look on the 4-hour momentum. 4 hour, yep, 4-hour stocks are now crossing towards the downside as well, after as you can see here, this triple top formation and that resistance zone that we have drawn. And the RSI is, yep, definitely stuck right now for a really long time now already in the bearish control zone, as you can see. So yeah, bears are taking more and more initiative and more power right now, and well, that kind of makes sense as well, right? Like I said, you have to look at it like a game where you are playing chicken. Well, not chicken, but you want to make the most profit of your situation, right? You can't just like well, let's say if you have bought 1,000 bitcoins at 4,500, what do you want to do? You want to be selling at 10,000. 10 20 bitcoins. You want to be selling at 10,100, like 50 bitcoins. You want to be selling at, you know, at the tops, but not too much that the market doesn't collapse. Because if you are dumping immediately 1,000 bitcoins at like 10,000, then the price is going to be immediately moving to like 9,000, and then people are going to be scared, and the retail is not going to be buying anymore, right? So you won't have that pressure. So the institutions and the professional traders have been extremely smart by just slowly selling what they have been purchasing after that big dump. And yeah, this looks like distribution for now. And then well, if the price breaks 8.6k, if it once it breaks 8.6k, then it's going to be like that avalanche towards the downside. Because then for them, you have to understand the margin between like 7.5k and 8.6k, they will be kind of like, well, let's just take profits now, and then they will just dump on the market, right? Because and then the price is going to be dropping like, you know, $500-600 very quickly. Then there's no point anymore in, like, you know, selling slowly and trying to tease and trying to get the attention of the retails, or trying to persuade them into buying more Bitcoin at this price. So yeah, anyways, we have been discussing this for a really long time now, but yeah, I do believe that it will be coming through. And well, this, like I said, it's trading is really all about patience, right? I know it has been a while. I mean, I don't think I've been in a position in a day trading position for such a long time. It's been it seems like forever. When did I go into position? That was when we were at 9.3k, right? So let's see, when was that? I think it was touching the EMA. Was it here? No, it was definitely not here. It was here, I think. Yeah, yeah, it was here when we touched the EMA 20, the EMA 200, and then I think I entered the position here. Yeah, something like that, at 9.3k on the 26th of June. So that's like 10 days already. That's not day trading anymore. To be honest, what I should have done is, but I was too lazy to be doing. What I should have done is take profits at 9k basically, then reshort it again at this area here. But that's why I had my swing trading position. So I entered my swing trading position here at this spot. So that's the reason why I didn't close my day trading spot. So I was like, yeah, whatever, you know, like I kind of feel pretty confident that this is looking more and more like distribution. So let's just go for more profits than than just small profits, and maybe miss out on my position. Because like I said, usually when we have a depth cross, it does retest either the EMA 55. So maybe it would have just dropped from there and never retested the EMA 200, right? So but yeah, this time we kind of got lucky, and it retested the 200. And not only that, for people who are late and not in a position, we actually yesterday with that short squeeze, we actually retested the EMA 55 one more time. So that gave you actually another chance to be entering a short position, to be honest. So I know a lot of people have taken advantage of that as well. From my trader friends who were like very happy last night. I was holding the little dang in my hands, and I saw a bunch of messages popping up, and people who were entering a short position at that price, and they were screaming yes, very happy. Anyways, I think that's it for today as well, because basically went through everything what I wanted to say. There is some bullish divergence right now. So maybe we will get another push back up towards the, let's say, 9.1k. It's definitely not. It's definitely not for sure, because it really looks. We've been bouncing off. Like I said, it's actually quite rare that we retest the EMA 55 once again, but that's mainly because it was a weekend, right? Like I said, during the weekend, the $100 push towards the upside is quite common on a very low volume, and we can clearly see that as well, right? As you can see here, the volume was insanely low. This green candle was very low, but yeah, a very the price still moved up quite substantially. But anyways, what am I expecting? Well, the same thing that I've been expecting for quite some time. Most likely somewhere around 8.9k, or this CN line here, the EMA 100 at like 8,878. Most likely a small bounce from there. But if we do close down below there, then I do believe the waterfall is going to be opening, and then most likely we'll be ending up here towards this green box here. Where am I aiming at is at the purple line, or the EMA 200 at 8,600, and that's where I'm finally going to be most likely. Well, we'll be seeing what happens, right, with the price. I can't say it 100% sure, but I'll definitely close some part of my position from 9.3k down to that spot. I think that's pretty good as already. But like I said, the movement could be a lot more volatile than we are expecting. So I do believe that maybe we will go a leg lower. And where do I think we will be going? That will be the simple 200 moving average, which is currently right now at 8,400. So this could possibly be happening, where we get the giant red candle towards this simple 200 moving average as well, wick up from there and get back into our descending channel from there. So be ready or be prepared for that. Like I said, the most key zone will be the 8.6k area. If we break that 8.6k area, there's most likely we'll be hitting 8.4 instead of 8.6, and then most likely make a bounce from there. Other than that, well, we also have to be looking at the bullish scenario. Well, the bullish scenario would be that we are holding this price spot or making a small bounce. First of all, we want to be seeing the price closing above the EMA 55, right? If not, the EMA 21 and the EMA 55 are going to make a bearish cross towards the downside once again, and that's going to be causing even more pressure towards the downside, right? So first of all, we want to be seeing a daily close, a couple of daily closes back above the EMA 55. That's one thing. Or let's say the price move very slowly sideways towards for the next week or something like that, and then we break up and out of this channel. But like I said, the probabilities are just on the very low end, right? So, and I'm playing my probabilities, and for all the moon boys who are hating on me, sorry for that. I'm just following what the charts are telling me. I don't trade my emotions or my feelings. I just trade what my technical analysis, what my charts are saying, and I just want to make money. That's my goal. I don't really care about anything else. So I hope that that was informative. I think that will wrap it up. Like I said, most important thing is most likely the weekly close tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Wake up very early. See me is going to start trading at 6 a.m. For me, 6 a.m. tomorrow, and that will give us, of course, a lot more information as well. But for now, I expect either a small bounce towards 9.1k, but eventually most likely towards 8.9k. That area where we will be hanging around that area. 8.8k, 8.9k is where I do expect us to be closing the weekly, and then that will cause that domino effect towards the downside, and then 8.6k, maybe even 8.4k, and then we'll analyze things from there. We'll be making a substantial amount of money if that happens, right? Because we have been very patient. It's time that we get paid, right? It's time to get paid. It's been how many days? 9 days in my day trading account that we haven't really been making money. But if it goes to 8.6k or something like that, we're definitely gonna make that paper, and things will be very, very good. All right. So yeah, enjoy your Sunday. Be a little bit lazy, but be ready for tomorrow, because we are going to be getting ready for war for a whole week once again, and we'll be following up on everything, right? So see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place, YouTube live or on Facebook live, 8:30. What am I saying? 7:30 p.m. UTC +8. And please like, share, comment, and do whatever you want on this channel. If you want to see some other stuff on the channel, like I said, please feel free to be asking me. I'm very, very definitely during the weekends when things are very slow on bitcoins, or there's very little to be updating on bitcoins, I'm happy to take a look at some shit coins or altcoins if you guys are interested in that. For me personally, you know how I feel about altcoins. So but I like I said, I am willing to take a look at things. Just get ready to not have your feelings hurt when I'm saying that it's a dead heartbeat chart or something like that. But other than that, well, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Whatever you do with your own money is your own responsibility, of course, right? But yeah, that's it for today.